Welcome back. July is Disability Pride Month, a time to celebrate our friends and neighbors, but research shows adults with disabilities struggle with their mental health nearly 5 times more than adults without disabilities. Here with some important information to share this morning, we welcome the Director of Family Services for Easter Seals Morgue in Flint, Katie Hendricks. Thank you for coming in this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, let's talk about this being Disability Pride Month and the importance behind that.
Yeah, actually Disability Pride Month marks the anniversary of the signing of the Americans with Disabilities Act in July of 1990. And it's a great opportunity to acknowledge people with disabilities in our community and celebrate all their accomplishments throughout history.
Yes, and really, if you think about it, 1990 wasn't that long ago.
No.
Talk about the progress that we've made in society.
Well, we're really looking to highlight abilities and not just acknowledge them, but also celebrate people with differences and all the things that they can contribute to our community.
Well, it's important to have good etiquette around our disabled friends, but sometimes we might worry about saying or doing the wrong thing. What's your advice this morning? What are some simple disability etiquette tips that everyone should just keep in mind?
Absolutely. We want to see the whole person. Their disability is just a piece of who they are. They're artists, they're musicians, they're family members, they have jobs, and so we don't want to define them by their diagnosis. Again, it's just a small piece of who they are. Also, speaking directly to the person. Even if they have a caregiver with them, we want to talk directly to them. Just because they might have a physical limitation doesn't mean that they have a mental limitation. And then if it is needed, the caregiver can always step in. A good example is if you're walking up to a door and you see a person in a wheelchair. You would ask them, can I help you with that, or do you need help, before just assuming that they need that. We want to assume their competence. We want to assume that they can do things, because they can. They can do a lot of things that we don't necessarily assume that they can.
Well, and what do you do exactly with Easter Seals Morgue? Talk about what you do.
Yes, so Easter Seals Morgue is a human service organization. We serve adults and children and in their families in the community. So we also, the services that we provide are individual and group therapy, autism services, and we also do consultative and supportive services for people with disabilities so they can live an independent life in the community. We help them link up to all those things so they can be out there and living the fullest life possible.
No, you do great work, and we mentioned the mental health crisis for the disabled community. What factors contribute to that, and what can communities do to help?
Think of inclusion, think of accessibility. If you're having an event, let's make it accessible. If you're going out with a person who has a disability, make sure that there's an elevator, or if it's a child with autism or a person with autism, that it's not going to be too overstimulating, or if it is, that there's a place for them to decompress and regulate and be able to enjoy things as much as possible. We really want to think inclusion, getting people in their communities, because they're important members of our community.
Oh, a very important message to share with our viewers this morning, and we certainly appreciate all the great work that you're doing. Where can people learn more about your organization and how to support it?
Yes, please go to www.eastersealsmorgue.org, and there you can find out more about Disability Pride Month. You can find more disability etiquette tips, and you can take a free mental health screening.
Well, we certainly appreciate your perspective this morning, and thank you for the conversation.
Thank you so much.
All right.